Hi guys, welcome to another beer review, and today we've got a collaboration between Beavertown and Brouwerij De Molen, and this is a bottle of the Quirks and Quinine, or Quinine, which is a gin and tonic spiced saison. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of saisons, in fact it's one of my least favourite styles, but I do love a good gin and tonic. So when I saw this in Bearmoth, I thought, gotta give that a try. So I picked it up, £4.25. Picked this up when we were in Manchester with Paul. And yeah, so ABV is 8%, so it's an Imperial saison, it seems, which I didn't actually realise when I picked it up. And the ingredients are water, barley malts, which are pilsner malts, malts, wheat and spelt. Bittering hops are Premiant and Sars, and then there's juniper berries, lemon zest, coriander, cinchona bark. God, my reading is terrible today. I don't even know what cinchona bark is, or cinchona bark. I don't know how that's pronounced. And top fermenting yeast. So let's get this train wreck on the road. But yeah, I do like the layout of the De Molen artwork, and it's got the bottled on and best before, but actually doesn't show you. So yeah, I'm not too sure when this was produced, and I'm not too sure when the best before date is. But yeah, lovely artwork, and there is the De Molen crown, somewhat iconic. But yeah, I've not actually had a Beavertown beer for too long, to be honest. They're one of my favourite breweries, so I'm going to put that in with the other bottle caps. So let's see what we get with this gin and tonic saison. So, won't pour it all in so I can get my nose in there. So as you can see, it's a lovely sort of golden colour. Loads of bubbles in there. Stick to the glass because it's obviously not clean. It's not exactly clear, but you can see through it quite clearly. It's got like a little bit of like a phasey haziness to it. Phasey haziness, off to a great start. Just got in from work, it's absolutely freezing outside, and I've needed a piss since I was walking home, but I didn't decide to go to the toilet before I start recording this review, so I'm uncomfortable, I'm cold, and I'm all over the place. But yeah, brilliant white head on this one. But yeah, I'm not sure if you can see any bits and bobs. There might be some particulates when we pour the rest of the beer in there. But yeah, it looks nice so far, so let's give it a sniff. And you get that funkiness from the saison style first and foremost. You do definitely get that coriander mixing really nicely with the lemon zest. It does have that juniper berry character. You can smell like that gin presence in there. From the juniper berries, of course. But the bark, there's no real like woodiness. Maybe it's not even like a bark from a tree. Maybe it's actually like a fruit or something, but it's just called bark. I have no idea, because I don't do research, because I'm an idiot. But yeah, it's got all the makings of what you expect from like a funky saison. But there's like little subtle spicy tones. That citrusy edge works really, really well. And it's like, it's really refreshing. It doesn't smell too like sourdough yeast, like a lot of these Belgian style beers are, or, you know, in that part of the world, and Europe, I should say. Yeah, just a nice balance of funk, spice, and all things nice. Let's give it a taste. Cheers. Oof. I can taste that 8% ABV, but it's not in like a boozy, harsh way. It just, bam, it hits you. So you know you're drinking a powerful beer. And I get that gin-like flavour from those juniper berries. So much. You'd think that there's actually gin poured into this beer. Again, you get that bready, funky, yeasty note in there, but it doesn't linger like it usually does with a lot of saisons, which is one of the reasons why I don't usually like the style. But it's got a lovely bit of spice in there. You definitely pick up that coriander. Mix them well with those juniper berries. There's like a very subtle woodiness in there. Yeah, it's very fragrant actually when I was doing that, and I could smell it on my own breath. Not always the greatest thing to smell your own breath, of course, but yeah, it is very fragrant. It's almost got that sort of like you've been drinking all night and the next day you can still smell it on your breath. That's what it's reminding me of. And yeah, it's... I get those qualities that I don't like with saisons in there, but those other flavours make it a bit more pleasurable for me personally. And as someone who loves a good gin and tonic, they've nailed it. They've got that flavour there perfectly. You could, you know, potentially make like a cocktail with a beer like this if you wanted to. Although if you were to put actual gin in that, it would probably just completely make it a mess. So don't do that. But yeah, it's not too bad. It's got those spicy tones, which I do like. It's a little bit peppery on the tongue now, and that coriander herbal edge is coming through as well. It's not bad. It's not blowing me away. It's not the most exciting or intriguing beer. But at the same time, it's not like, oh, this is why I don't like saisons. It's not one of those beers. And it's an interesting take on the style from two very interesting breweries. Is it, for me personally, worth the £4.25? I wouldn't pay that again for this beer. In fact, I don't think I'd want to try this beer again. But it's not a badly brewed beer at all. If you love your saisons and you love your gin, they've made a beer for you. So definitely give it a try if you're into this sort of stuff. But yeah, it's, even though 7 out of 10 is usually my threshold for, I'd definitely buy it again. I think there's enough quality in the beer, and it does something intriguing enough for it to still get the 7 out of 10. But I would not buy this beer again. It's not really doing much for me. But if you've tried this, the Quirks and Quinine, or Quinine, or whatever that's how that's pronounced, my ignorance for any language that isn't English, even though Quinine, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I'm an ignorant piece of shit, you could clearly tell. And yeah, so if you've tried this one, then let me know your thoughts and opinions. If you've tried any gin and tonic inspired beers, then let me know your thoughts and opinions, any recommendations. Any recommendations from beers from either of these breweries, always welcome. And if there are any beers that sound like this, then give me your recommendations also. So check out Beavertown, check out De Molen, and also check out Bearmoth. All of them really worth your time. And yeah, check out my Saison playlist and check out my Bearmoth playlist for more reviews. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I shall hopefully see you all later. Turn it off.